Welcome to this daily guided meditation practice. This is the Attentive Mind. My name is Nathan, and I'll be guiding you through this meditation practice today. Find yourself a seated position. Any position works. You can be lying down, you can be sitting in a chair. You just want to find something sturdy where you're not liable to shift and move around during the practice. But of course, you just want to find what works for you. We also keep our eyes open during this practice. But if you have learned to practice with your eyes closed, or you feel more comfortable doing that, not a problem. Keep your eyes closed. But if your eyes are open, go ahead and just leave the screen alone and drop your eyes gently down below you, kind of glancing at the floor, the desk, or the carpet, or whatever's just below you. We're not staring at a particular spot in the floor and analyzing it, but we're also not zoned out and blurry. We just have a gentle and light, clear gaze directed softly downwards. You're in a nice, comfortable seated position. Your eyes are open and down. Just settle here. Relax. And to relax doesn't mean to try to relax. It's to let your body do it by itself. Let your body just let go on its own. And just allow the nervous system to kind of calm down and just settle down. We don't try to calm water if we're holding it by shaking it. We're trying to push the waves downwards. We just set it down and leave it alone. And the water settles all by itself. Notice the lower belly, the area just below the belly button and above the groin. Notice how it feels. How it moves on its own. Watch as the breath comes in, this area expands. And as the breath leaves, the lower belly relaxes all by itself. See if you can just pay attention to this rhythm without getting distracted by plans or worries or frustrations. Just notice the gentle movement of the breath in the lower belly. Are you noticing the breath? Or did you get lost? Maybe I'm catching you thinking right now. But this is okay. Thinking is not a problem. In fact, we allow thinking to happen. We allow the plans, the worries, the ruminations, and the stories, or whatever it is, to go on and on and on. We just don't give them that much attention. Instead, we put our attention with the lower belly. And we allow thoughts to come and go as they please. In other words, let your mind think what it wants to. Remain with the breath. Lower belly. Come back. Come back to breathing. Let your mind wander any way it wants to. Stay with the breath. breathing, rising and falling. What do you notice when we give our attention over to the breath? What happens to the mind? What happens to its noise? Even if it's a slight difference, what happens? There's something here that moves back and forth between paying attention to the breath, then getting lost in thoughts, in ideas. What is this thing? What exactly is it that sat down to meditate? Or another way to ask, what are thoughts talking to exactly? And if you say, oh, they're talking to me, my soul, my true self, these are also thoughts. So, what is it exactly? What hears this voice? What are you? Thoughts can't go there. Look carefully. All right, you can look at the screen. You know, you'll hear a lot of meditation where spiritual people talk about silence. I wonder if people understand silence, real silence, not the absence of noise, which, by the way, is extraordinarily wonderful. If you can find quietness from noise, from this noisy world, find it. It's wonderful. But silence doesn't have to do with being quiet. It doesn't have to do with things stopping. In fact, if you go to a factory where they're building cars, you can imagine how loud that is. And you could sit in the middle and understand and perceive silence in the middle of that. When we think, let's take a thought. Let's say, I need to stop drinking Diet Coke. Or, I'm not good enough. I hate myself. God, why does this always happen to me? It's a common one. Let's take that one. Why does this always happen to me? And that thought, when we're sitting, it happens, goes through the head. Why does this always happen to me? And then something sees it, right? When you hear your thoughts. And I'm sure during the practice you noticed that you kept getting distracted because you keep hearing thoughts. You're thinking of this and that and the problems and the plans and the worries and the troubles. This chatter, there's something that sees it. Is that thing that sees it a thought? Is the thing that notices thoughts a thought? The moment you make a word about it, you say, ah, yeah, that's me. It's a thought. That's called silence. You can say, are silence. Saying too much though, right? Because that's also a word. It's also thinking. Or here's another way to do it. Let's take the same, what was it that we said? I hate myself. Or why does this always happen to me? Slow it down. It goes so fast. If we just slow it down, we just retrospectively, why does this always happen to me, right? So it's a word, space, word, space, word, space, word, space, word. What is in between the spaces of each word when you're thinking? The more you notice those gaps. In fact, we can wait right now, wait for a thought to go through your head. Think about something. Say anything. I want to go to the movies. I want to go. What is the background? What is the context to which that thought exists from your experience? We're not thinking about this. We're experiencing it. There's a gap between thoughts. There's a something that notices thoughts, which itself can't be talked about because that's thinking, right? Silence is what people call it. Some people call it Buddha. Christ consciousness. Awareness is a good one. Consciousness, the best word is no words. What is it? Somebody commented recently, and I think this is a good point to use it. This is a Buddhist thing. If I take my finger and point at the moon, if you pay attention to the finger, you won't see the moon. And in the same way, if you pay attention to the thoughts themselves, the words and my words, and what is he talking about, you pay attention to that, you won't see the silence is your nature. Embrace it. But what embraces it? Now I know what I talk about might be confusing sometimes, so if you have any questions, please comment below and I'll answer them in a separate question and answer video at the end of the week. And if you're new here, I post a video like this every single day. I'm not here to teach you any spiritual stuff. I'm not here to give you any ideas at all. I'm here to ask you about your own experience. What are you? So join me, and I'm here every day for you. Thank you for your time today. Thank you for showing up for your life. And as always, and without exception, I'll see you tomorrow.